All right, last section of Unit 11. We're going to start off with a little bit of review first. So some names. So CF. CF is right here. It goes from the center to the outer edge of the circle, which makes it a radius. Number 2, AB. AB is this line right here. You could call it AD, DA, DB, any of these, okay? But it is a tangent because it is just touching the circle at one point. Point B, which is the point of tangency. FB, okay, different color. F goes from this edge of the circle through the center to the other edge of the circle, so that makes it a diameter. If it just went from circle to edge of the circle to the edge of the circle, not through the center, it'd be a chord. Kind of like EF right here. Goes from edge to edge, but not through the center. DF. Okay. DF, let's get purple. DF is here. Okay. Kind of like AD, which is on the outside. This one is going through the circle, kind of like shooting an arrow through a balloon, which makes this a secant. And BC, which goes right here. It's the other half of BF. So that again is a radius. So we start with a radius and finish with a radius. Bookends. All right, new formula. Probably one you've seen before somewhere. Surface area of a sphere. So if you're going to paint a sphere, how much surface area? Sorry, something jumped in my throat. Surface area. How much paint would you need to paint it, so to speak? Very simple formula. It's just 4 times pi r squared. Notice pi r squared is the area of a circle, okay? And when you just take the area of a circle, multiply by 4, you get the surface area of the sphere. So kind of if you think about, there's a circle right here in the middle. Whatever the area of that is, you multiply by 4, and it's the surface area of the sphere. So find the surface area of each sphere. So notice the difference. Here we're given a radius. Here we're given the circumference. Okay, so we're going to handle those a little bit differently. All right, so surface area is 4 pi r squared. So 4 pi 8 squared. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 times 4 is 256 pi. And again, this is an appropriate answer. Or if you multiply it out, you get 804.25 inches squared. Now, this one's a little bit different, B, because remember, C is 2 pi r, or also pi times diameter, which means the diameter is 12. Which means the radius is 6. Now that we know that, we can do it just like A. 4 pi r squared. Well, 6 squared is 36 times 4 is 144 pi. Feet squared, sorry. Feet squared. That's an appropriate answer. You could stop there. Or if you multiply it out, you get 452.39 feet squared. Okay, like I said, pretty basic formula. Find the diameter of the sphere. Well, we know the surface area, okay? So we just need to work backwards. So remember, surface area is 4 pi r squared. That was way too big of a 2. So we know the surface area, so we're going to put it in here. 20.25 pi equals 4 pi r squared. All right. Well, we're trying to get this by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by 4 pi. This is a nice thing about when items are put in terms of pi, because then they cancel. So what you're left with is 20.25 divided by 4, which is 5.0625 equals r squared. Okay. Now to find the radius, we just have to square root this number. So radius equals approximately 2.25. I don't know why I wrote 2. That's the radius, but we're trying to find the diameter, so we need to double this. So the diameter equals 4.5 centimeters. Volume of the sphere, kind of similar. Okay, we still have the 4, the pi, and the r, but instead of being squared, it's cubed, which makes sense because it's cubic. All right, and then instead of 4, we have 4/3. All right, another way to write this formula is 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. Okay, some people like to deal with the fractions, some people like to deal with them as separate numbers. Doesn't matter. Personal choice. All right, find the volume of the soccer ball. Well, volume equals 4 pi r cubed, keep making it 2 there, divided by 3. So 4 pi 4.5 cubed divided by 3. And we do 4.5 cubed times 4 divided by 3. Just crunch the numbers. You get 121.5 pi inches cubed. Or if you multiply it out, you get 381.7 inches cubed. Again, unless the problem specifies, either answer is appropriate. Oh, and also I forgot to mention these numbers are off a little bit. We cut one out and didn't change the number, so I guess this got fixed. Never mind, my bad. So number 5, the surface area of a sphere is 324 pi square centimeters. You know, we usually write it like that. Okay, find the volume. All right, so the surface area again is 4 pi r squared. This one is kind of like working backwards and then forwards. Okay, because we need to find the radius to find the volume. So we're going to work backwards and say 324 pi equals 4 pi r squared. It's not a hard problem, it just takes time. So this is just like the one we did before when we tried to find the diameter. We put the surface area in on the left side. We then divide it by 4 pi, both sides. This one comes out nice. Okay, whole number. 81, because the pi's cancel, remember. 81 equals r squared, and then we square root, easy peasy, we get r is 9. Now before, we doubled that and got 18 because we were looking for the diameter. Here now, we're trying to find the volume. So now we're going to take this number and apply it to the volume formula, which is 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. So again, it's going to be 4 pi 9 cubed, 9 times 9 times 9, divided by 3. Well, when you do 9 cubed times 4 and then divide by 3, you end up with a nice number, whole number, 972 pi. And that's going to be cubic centimeters. Or, I forgot to put centimeters down here, sorry. Or if you multiply this out, you get 3,053.63 cubic centimeters. And that's it. And that's it for chapter 1. No, it isn't. I lied. I forgot there was number 6. I am sorry. Now, this one is just a little bit of work. Not hard, just doing a couple different things and finding the composite. So what we have here is a cylinder, but notice there is a half of a sphere taken out. It's kind of like a bowl set into, the cylinder here. All right. So what we need to do is we need to find the volume of the cylinder minus the volume of the hemisphere, or half a sphere. So we're just going to do two things. We're going to find the volume of the cylinder. Remember, that is pi r squared h minus Now we're going to do 1/2 of what we just learned, 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. So whatever we get, we divide by 3. Or sorry, we divide by 2 to get a semi-hemisphere, whatever you want to call it, half a sphere. So we have the radius here, and we have the height here. So pretty easy over here. Pi 2 squared times 2. So that's just 8 pi. Minus 1/2, okay, 4 pi 2 cubed divided by 3. That ends up being 8 pi minus, this all ends up being, when you take 2 times 2 times 2 times 4 divided by 3, and then times 1/2, you end up with 16/3 pi. Whoops. So when you do the subtraction there, you need to find a common denominator. So you need to make 8 over, whoopsie, did not mean for that to happen. You need to make 8 over 1 into thirds. So that's 24 thirds. So we do 24 thirds minus 16 thirds, we get 8 thirds pi cubic inches. Or if we multiply it out again, 8.38 inches cubed. Okay? And now it is the truth. That's the last lesson of this unit.